Do you believe that Tesla should take $5 billion out of their coffers and send them up the road to XAI and buy 17-20% of the shares of XAI?
So I was skeptical about this,
Oh, you were? Okay.
and the Tesla community has converted me a bit.
Okay.
What makes me skeptical is that XAI seems to be pursuing a lot of the same things that OpenAI and Meta are pursuing with large language models and multimodal models. And those have a lot of value for the end customer, but in general, companies may be challenged in commercializing or getting paid for that value they're giving
Right.
to the customer. Um, and one big problem I have with it is Meta is essentially giving away their models for free, and they just released their 405 or 605 billion parameter model, and you almost need like a supercomputer at home to run it. But they released that for free.
Yeah.
So it's open source, and you can even use it for commercial purposes. I'm like, so what is what's XAI going to commercialize? Um, so I'll confess something, and this is not investment advice or anything. I had the ability to participate in the
Oh,
XAI
yeah.
funding round,
Yeah.
and I didn't. And part of it was just my struggle with this, and thinking there were some better opportunities. But um, I think increasingly Tesla cars are going to be communicating with each other,
Yes.
and
With the people in it.
yeah, with people in it. Also, that Tesla bots or humanoid robots will be communicating with each other and the people they interact with. So not only communication, but I think like there's this, there's going to be some magic that we don't even realize about AI. So like, what if there's an AI hive mind? And I know that could sound scary. Insects and spiders
Right,
and
right,
stuff
right.
like that give us all the creepy crawlies. But like, if you can design some technology around a hive mind, where Tesla cars are talking to each other, so they're, going around where there's heavy traffic, they're let each other know where road closures are, potholes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I see the value to Tesla. I see it for transportation. I see it for labor in the factories. Um, so I'm generally supportive of Tesla uh, gaining better access to a resource like this. We all know how disappointing Siri has been on the iPhone,
Hmm.
and finally Apple is addressing that.
Hmm.
But like having a really good assistant, like a Jarvis on an Iron Man suit, having a really good assistant in your car would be really, really cool and a lot of fun. And I
Yeah.
think that would help sell more Teslas.
Yeah, I do too. I've been saying this for a while. I think I started saying it about, I don't know, a month ago. I said, we got to get Grok in the car because I mean, you can think of the conversations you can have, and it's got to be Grok because it's got to be snarky. It's got to talk back to you, give you a hard time and stuff because that'll be part of the fun. So, like some of the bots have done
Yeah.
in the movies. So I look at it this way. Let's say you have $100,000 investment in Tesla. You might have more than that. I have less than that, but we all have an investment. This would be 1/100th of our investment. So you may have passed up that opportunity to get in on the thing with the
Mhm.
XAI, but I'm guessing it was more than $1,000 or a couple $1,000s. But if you had an opportunity to invest in XAI right now and it was going to only be 1,000 or a couple $1,000s, wouldn't you do it? Another Elon Musk venture just because it's Elon? Of course I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to think about it for 5 seconds.
Yeah. So I think the reason you're saying like it would be like a percent is because, the value of the stock is what, is it 600 billion or more?
600 billion or more. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if they put in 5 billion, that'd be less than 1% in a
right.
way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense to me. And in a way, it's kind of a minor decision, though it would be a good chunk of their cash, but their cash keeps growing. It was like 20 billion last time we were having a debate about buybacks or not, and now it's 30 billion.
And if there's
Uh,
any, and if there's any company in the entire world that could raise money in a nanosecond, either
mhm.
by borrowing or by going back to the capital market, it is certainly Tesla. They could raise money so fast. All right, so you're okay then with the XAI decision. Glad to hear that. Let's go to the, unless you have anything else on
Yeah, that
Tesla.
is not a voting recommendation
Not a voting recommendation
or
here.
financial advice.
So in the, well, okay, no, let's flip to your other question for me today. You said, Randy, what
Randy.
are you talking about?
Yeah, so I was watching a video you were doing with Brian Wong, and you were talking about $700 a share on Tesla stock price. This is, before the earnings, but
Right.
earnings only sent it down, after today, maybe 7% or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You're talking about $700 a share on Tesla's share price by year end. And I think it's irresponsible to be talking like that, Randy.
You're responsible. Man, that's heavy.
That
Um,
is heavy.
all right,
I
so
know you see some like a potential for pickup in profits next year.
yes.
Um, so what would be the catalyst with profits for this year? Like,
So my analysis is actually extremely simple. We're
okay.
much bigger company with much more cash, with no debt than we were when the stock was at 410. Much bigger company, well over double the size of the company, way over double the amount of well, the net cash on hand, net of loans is many times higher than it was back in 2021. Was that 2021 or 2022?
Mhm.
November of 21, I think it was. Yeah, November of 21. Huge difference in the size of the company. I believe that the reason that it was at all-time high at that time was because of FOMO over full self-driving. Because Elon, this is like early on when he was like, okay, we've got it. It's done.
Mhm.
And so there was FOMO, there was Elon's success record, everything else, I believe, drove people to go, I got to be a part of this big thing, because Elon's just, he's so enthusiastic about it. So I think that's why we got to 411 or 410 or whatever it was. Well, now we're a much bigger company. So between now and the end of the year, I think we are going to have FSD complete for sure. All the functionality will be there. I think that'll happen before 1010. You'll have reverse, you'll be able to park in your garage. It will actually know which house you live in. Things like that will all
Mhm.
happen before 1010. But then I think we'll have what you just said a few minutes ago. I think we'll have unsupervised driving before the end of the year. Once we've got unsupervised driving, I don't see how in the world the share price will stay under $700. There you go.
Okay. But like, where's the profits before year end? Where like with Nvidia, we're at 6x and essentially a year,
Yeah.
uh, or maybe a year and 4 or 5 months. They had the benefit of profits like growing by more than 6x.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I think
no,
even more than 10x. So,
yeah, I just think it'll be FOMO. I think that people understand, people, even the ones that are most negative on Tesla, or the most negative on the opportunity that's in robotaxi, understand that if it really happens, it is bigger than Nvidia. It is bigger than uh, you know, Amazon Cloud. It's bigger than, I mean, it's the biggest. Again, Elon believes it, Kathy believes it, I believe it, I think you believe it. It'll be the largest business there ever has been once, if it comes soon. And
Until humanoid bots.
until humanoid bots. So at $700 a share, not only are you figuring in some value, which was already being figured in 3 years ago, and now it's 3 years later with a drivable car that we get in, as you just did, and go, oh my gosh.